In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for Monday, April 15. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Monday MLB slate we got going on for April 15. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. We're going to talk about that really soon. But right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 3.99 thousand subscribers. You guys are making these numbers jump, go crazy. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, join the community that we're building right now on YouTube. That means hitting the subscribe button. Or if you want to, join the Patreon as well. We have a big community over there as well. We're bouncing plays off each other. And on the Patreon, we are coming off a great day. Both community parlays hit. We had right here 25 for 236, Magic, Rockets, Suns, Lakers. That came through. We even had the MLB parlay come through with the Baltimore Orioles and Cincinnati Reds. Both of those parlays hit. And if you want some proof, these are the tickets here. All right. That was a separate play. That's an MLB parlay. And then the big ticket here, 25 for 236. So if you want winning plays, winning bets, sign up. And if you want just to have a community to bounce off ideas, talk, conversate, sign up for that Patreon right now. That link is provided down below. First game up on the slate, we have the Cleveland Guardians here, 10-5, going against the Boston Red Sox, 9-7. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the Boston Red Sox on the money line at a -125, with the comeback of the Guardians at a +105. The current run spread is at a 1.5, and the total runs is set at 9.5. All right, public bet percentage here, 83% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Red Sox. No data yet on the percentage for the run spread here. And for the total, everyone's is going towards the over, 98% of the bets and 98% of the money. All right, for the pitching matchup here, we have Xzavier Curry for the Guardians going up against Kutter Crawford. Curry, this is going to be his first start of the 2024 season. He's coming off the 15-day IL, and this is going to be his first start in 2023. All right, not very impressive. His ERA was 4.07, WHIP at a 1.35, and a K per 9 was very poor at 6.35. All right, so very low K per 9. 6 Ks per 9 is not what you're really looking for, especially if you're looking for props as well. For Kutter Crawford, he has been pitching phenomenally this year in 2024. His ERA is under 1 at 0.57. His WHIP is under 1 at 0.96, and his K per 9 is solid at 9.39 Ks per 9. All right. So who are we going to be choosing in this matchup here? We got Red Sox at home. Some concerning numbers for Xzavier Curry, since we have no information on him for this year. This is his first start. Last year on the road, he had a 5.53 ERA, and which is really key here, on the road, he had a 1.77 home run per 9. So the bats could get going here against Xzavier Curry here. The Red Sox at home trying to get another win. If we're looking at their last couple games, they're already on a hot streak here. The Boston Red Sox, 2 games in a row, just beat the LA Angels. Guardians had a rough outing there against the Yankees. They even lost that doubleheader, and luckily they squeaked out a win on the 14th here. But the pitching matchup is making me lead towards Kutter Crawford. He doesn't have a win yet. He's been pitching outstanding. I think he gets a win in this one. Give me the Red Sox money line, and for the over under 9.5. As home favorites so far this year, the Red Sox are 1-2 towards the under, and for the Guardians as away underdogs, they are 1-2 towards the under. I think the Red Sox can put up runs. Kutter Crawford has been pitching phenomenally, and I don't think Guardians put up that many runs. Give me the under 9.5. Next game up, we have the Minnesota Twins, who are currently 6-8, going up against the Baltimore Orioles, 9-6. Looking at the current odds right now, Baltimore Orioles on the money line at a -150, with the comeback of the Minnesota Twins at a +125. The current spread is at a 1.5, and the total is set at 9. For the public bet percentage, we have 89% of the bets and 98% of the money towards the Orioles. No data yet on that run spread. And for the total, we have 99% of the bets and 99% of the money towards the over 9. All right. For the pitching matchup here, we have Louis Varland here for the Minnesota Twins going up for Cole Irvin for the Baltimore Orioles here. Louis Varland currently has an ERA of 9. His WHIP is at 2, and his K per 9 is at 10. So the positive thing there for Louis Varland is his K per 9. He does have some decent strikeout stuff. If we're looking at his advanced numbers, he's striking out lefties at a 24% rate and righties at a 20% rate here. Looking at his FIP and his xFIP, that's what you got to look at. The xFIP is expected. So there should be some regression to his current number right now. To righties, his FIP is at 7.88. Expected to go down to 5.12. And against lefties, his FIP is at 7, and it's expected to go down to 3.20. So there's some progression here for Varland to pitch better. He has good strikeout stuff against this lineup here in the Baltimore Orioles. For Cole Irvin, on the other hand, his current ERA is 8.10, so horrible ERA for both of these guys. His WHIP is at 1.90, and his K per 9 is garbage at 6.30. If we're looking at some of his advanced stats here, his hard hit rate to lefties and righties are well over 40%. These are questionable marks here. He's been bad for multiple years because he came over from the Oakland A's. So against lefties, 50% hard hit rate, 43% against righties, and even the medium contact, 43% there as well. So if we're looking at this line here between the Orioles and the Twins, I think there's more juice on the side of the Minnesota Twins. Just looking at this pitcher matchup, Cole Irvin has been poor. And the matchup here against lefties, Twins against lefties, this is one of their best matchups for them. If we're looking at their numbers against lefties, they have a better average, a better OPP, slugging, and OPS. All the numbers across the board for the Minnesota Twins, they bat better against lefties. We got a lefty matchup here in Cole Irvin. So give me the Minnesota Twins on, you can take the run spread and be safe with the +105, but I think the Twins can come through with the win. I like them on the money line, and definitely with these two pitchers here, give me the over 9 runs. All right. Cole Irvin is garbage, and Louis Varland does give up some runs, but he has some decent strikeout stuff to at least get some of these batters out for the Orioles. Next game up, we have the Colorado Rockies, currently 4-12, going up against the Philadelphia Phillies, 8-8. This is a team here. Philadelphia Phillies have been very up and down, surprisingly. A team that went to the World Series last year, struggling coming out the gate right now. At least they have a solid matchup here against the Colorado Rockies, a matchup where they can rack up some wins. So for the odds here, Philadelphia Phillies, -250 on the money line with the comeback of the Rockies at a +200. The current run spread is at a 1.5. And the total runs at 8.5. All right. For the public bet percentage, we have 89% of the bets and 99% of the money towards the Philadelphia Phillies. There's no data yet on the run spread. And for the total, 99% of the bets and 99% of the money towards the over 8.5. All right. So for the pitching matchup here, we have Cal Quantrill here. Current ERA is at a 7.20. He is 0-2 right now so far this year. His WHIP is at a 1.73, not good, and his K per 9 is very low at 6 strikeouts per 9 innings. Aaron Nola, one of their studs in their rotation. Current ERA is at 4.50. His WHIP is at 1.50, but his K per 9 is at 5.63. He is not the strikeout pitcher he used to be. Okay, last 2 seasons he's been around that 6 to 5 range in the K per 9. All right, Cal Quantrill has been bad, and he continues to be bad. Obviously, he's pitching in Colorado, and his road ERA isn't as good either. For Aaron Nola, the positive notes here, the fact that other than he's been struggling just a little bit, he's not the main strikeout guy he used to be. Where he can succeed is against righties, all right? And when we're looking at the lineup here for the Colorado Rockies, we're looking at mostly righties here. We got Tovar, Diaz, Britton Doyle, Brendan Rodgers, Montero, and Stallings. He's going to be seeing at least 5 to 6 righties in the lineup here, and his numbers against right-handed hitters are very positive here. Only a 1.08 home run per 9. His K percentage is at 25%. His batting average is at 1.67. That's phenomenal. WHIP is under 1. BABIP is under 200. Everything across the board for Aaron Nola against righties. That's where his bread and butter is. And we're going to see a lot of righties here in this matchup here. Phillies at home, big favorites. So if you want to use them on a money line as a parlay piece, fine. I'm willing to take the spread here for the Phillies. I think they can win by multiple runs here against the Rockies and against Cal Contrail. And I will also be taking the over of 8.5. I think the Phillies are really going to put a hurting on the Colorado Rockies in this game in that bullpen. I could see a couple slip-ups from Aaron Nola to lead to some runs for the Rockies. That's why I'm leaning towards the over 8.5. But give me the cover of -1.5, and if you want to take that money line Phillies. Next up, we have the San Francisco Giants, currently 6-10, going against the Miami Marlins, 3-13. The current odds right now, we have the Giants on the money line as road favorites here, -115, with the Miami Marlins on the comeback at a -105. This is pretty much a pick 'em here. Run spread is at a 1.5, and the total is set at 8.5 for the public bet percentage. 75% of the bets and 92% of the money towards the Giants. No data yet on the run spread. And for the total, we have 85% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over 8.5. All right. Now, these two starting pitchers, this is a lefty versus lefty matchup here. Kyle Harrison going up against AJ Puk. Kyle Harrison has been okay this season. He has ERA of 4.76, a WHIP of 1.18, and a K per 9 at 9 Ks per inning. AJ Puk, on the other hand, has been struggling, 0 for 3. His current ERA is 5.91. His WHIP is well over 2 at 2.44, and his K per 9 is at 6.75. The K per 9 is shocking because every other season for AJ Puk, his K per 9 is over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. This year, he seems to be struggling so far in the first couple starts here. But here, the key components for this matchup, when we got a lefty versus lefty, where you got a top 5 team here in the San Francisco Giants against left-handed pitching. 291 average, 350 on base percentage, the slugging's at a 418, OPS at 768, the ISO's almost at 200. So across the board, the San Francisco Giants are just a much better team against left-handed pitching, and you have a poor pitcher here in AJ Puk. On the other hand, you're looking at the Miami Marlins. They're literally the second worst team in the league, right next to the White Sox, against left-handed pitching. Kyle Harrison has very solid K per 9. I think he can get his strikeouts going here in this matchup against the Miami Marlins. This is a very easier matchup for him. He has a K percentage at 36% against lefties, 20% against righties. Solid numbers there. The average is below 260 against righties. His WHIP is right at 1. So things are looking phenomenal for Kyle Harrison in this game. I think I'm going to be going with the San Francisco Giants here. We have the better hitting team against lefties. Give me them on the money line. And for the over-under, I'm going to lean towards the over here because if we're looking at both of these bullpens, these are the 2 worst bullpens in the league. Miami is bottom 3, and then the Giants aren't too far behind. They're bottom 6, where with a 5.2 ERA, and the Miami Marlins with a 5.88 ERA. So when it gets to these bullpens here, they could be giving up some runs. So give me the over 8.5. Next game up, we have the Texas Rangers here, 8-8, going against the Detroit Tigers, 9-6. Looking at the current odds, we have the Rangers at On the road as favorites, minus 125 with the comeback of the Detroit Tigers at a plus 105. The current spread is at a minus 1.5, and the total runs is set at 9. For the public bet percentage here, 73% of the bets and 95% of the money towards the Rangers. There's no data yet on the run spread, and for the total runs, it is set at 91% of the bets and 93% of the money towards the over 9. All right. The starting pitchers, we have Michael Lorenzen facing his former team in the Detroit Tigers. Michael Lorenzen, this is his first start of the season. He has been called up for Cody Bradford, who is on the IL. Michael Lorenzen, ERA in 2023, 4.18. His whip at a 1.18, and his K per 9 at 6.48. Reese Olson on the other end, his ERA is at 5.40, K per 9 at 5.40, and his whip at 1.24. So these two guys, the way that they've been pitching is pretty much a wash. So my next detail here is going to be, I get it, Michael Lorenzen facing his former team, but yes, this could be a motivation spot for him, but he has not been a good pitcher at all. What I'm going to be leaning on is going to be the bullpen. I think Reese Olson has been solid enough so far this season, but I think the bullpen is going to be the ace in the hole here for the Detroit Tigers. All right, we got a lot of money, a lot of public on the Texas Rangers, but I don't expect Michael Lorenzen to go far in his first game back. And you got one of the worst bullpens in the league at a 5.17 ERA with a whip at 1.44, giving up 7 home runs. So we got a lot of question marks here in that Texas Rangers bullpen with Michael Lorenzen starting. First start, probably not going to go far. And I'd rather lean on the Detroit Tigers bullpen, best in the league. If we're looking at this right here, number 1 bullpen in the league, under 2 ERA. They've been phenomenal with a low whip as well. So let's go with the underdog here, the home dogs, and go against the grain. Give me the Tigers. You could take that run spread at plus 1.5 to be safe, and give me the under 9. I think that the Tigers can get enough runs, but I think they're going to be able to shut them down late. So give me the under 9 and give me the run spread at plus 1.5. If you're feeling frisky, you can take the Tigers on the money line. Next up, we have the LA Angels, who are currently 7-8, going against the Tampa Bay Rays, 9-7. The current line here, the odds minus 160 on the money line for the home favorite Rays, with a comeback of the LA Angels at a plus 135. The current run spread is at a 1.5, and the total is set at 8. For the public bet percentage, 83% of the bets and 86% of the money towards the Rays. No data yet on the run spread. And for the total runs, 86% of the bets and 87% of the money towards the over 8 runs. All right. For the pitching matchup, we got left-hander Patrick Sandoval going against Zach Eflin, the righty here. Both of these guys have been struggling. Patrick Sandoval, the lefty, is ERA 6.57. K per 9 is at 10.95, which is pretty kind of an outlier there. And his whip is at 1.86, so his whip is almost at a 2 hits per innings. Zach Eflin on the other end, not good. ERA 6.35, K per 9 at 7.94. All right, if we're looking at these advanced numbers, Zach Eflin is a righty that can't throw to righties. So we're looking at this here, this lineup, which is going to be stacked with righties. They can literally throw 9 righties at you. We got 2 switch hitters here, but then you got to also see Mike Trout. You got to see the rookie Logan Ohop. He's been fantastic. Joe Adele has been hitting some home runs. Maybe Anthony Rendon can get things started here. This is not a good spot for Zach Eflin here. And if we're looking at advanced numbers, there's a lot of question marks. The home run per 9, Zach Eflin, that's the issue. A right-handed pitcher that can't throw to righties, that gives up a ton of home runs. And right now, advanced stats telling me 2.79 home runs per 9. That's not good. Average above 300. That's not good. Whip above 1.5. That's not good. So I'm not liking the side of Zach Eflin, and it doesn't look better for Patrick Sandoval, the lefty as well. The Rays are middle of the pack against left-handed pitchers, but the advanced stats are not reading well for Patrick Sandoval. It says it in his ERA and his average. To righties, 3.48. And this is going to be seeing a lot of righties as a left-handed pitcher. Whip above 2. BABIP over almost 500 BABIP. So I'm going to be staying away from choosing a winner here. I think the best number on this particular game here is giving me the over 8 runs. Give me the over 8 runs here between the Rays and the Angels. Next matchup, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates here, currently 11-5, going against the New York Mets, 7-8 here. Mets are home favorites here on the money line, -120, with the comeback of the Pirates at a +100. The run spread is at a 1.5 on both sides, and the total is at an 8.5. For the public bet percentage, 84% of the bets and 88% of the money towards the Mets. The run spread, no data as of yet. And for the total, 88% of the bets, 90% of the money towards the over 8.5. The pitching matchup here between these two teams, Martin Perez, lefty here. His current ERA is 1.89, whip at 1.21, and K per 9 at 7.10. For the Mets, Adrian Hauser, current ERA 5.40, K per 9 at 3.60, poor K per 9, and whip well above 1, all right? So this is a prime spot here for some runs. Martin Perez, I don't know if he thought he reinvented himself with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but the first couple starts, that's not the real Martin Perez. This 1.89 ERA, that's not him. I had to make sure. I looked at some of the numbers last year in 2023. Average around 280, giving up 17 home runs. All right, his home run per 9 against righties is very, very concerning. If we're looking at the splits against left-handed pitching, the Mets are the number 2 team in the league. 7 home runs, 300 average. They're putting up phenomenal numbers against left-handed pitching here. This is a perfect matchup going against Martin Perez, all right? So love the offense of the Mets. Same thing goes for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Adrian Hauser is a gas can. He's not good, and he can't throw strikeouts. 13% K rate against righties, 4.5 against lefties. Garbage. His average against righties over 300. And the problem with him is it's a whole lot of ground balls, all right? It's not a lot of hard contact here, only 12%. It's 81% medium contact, and it's 56% ground balls. So you better hope and pray that the defense is in the right spot, or it's going through the gap, and we're looking at doubles and even triples here against this Mets defense here. So I'm not choosing a side. I'm not taking the money line here. Give me the over 8.5 easily in this game. I love the overruns here between these two horrible pitchers. Next matchup, we have the San Diego Padres coming off a big win against the LA Dodgers, 9-9, going against the hot Milwaukee Brewers, 10-4. Padres are road favorites here, -125, with the comeback of the Brewers at a +1.5. At a +105. Run spread is at a 1.5, and the total runs is at 8.5 for both sides. Public bet percentage, 62% of the bets, 94% of the money on the Padres. No data yet on that run spread. And for the total, 88% of the bets and 89% of the money on the over 8.5. All right. Now, the pitching matchup here, Joe Musgrove, who has been struggling this year, ERA 6.87, whip at 1.75, and a K per 9 at 8.35. For Joe Ross, he's with his new team in the Milwaukee Brewers here, coming from the Washington Nationals, and he's been pitching phenomenally so far. ERA 1.80, K per 9 at 9, and a whip at 1.3. So those are solid numbers across the board. Joe Musgrove is the big question mark because he has been struggling. All right, he's been giving up a ton of hits after hit after hit to righties. Over 300, to lefties, over 300. The whip is over 2 against lefties. The whip against righty is a 1.5. There's a lot of question marks here. The home run per 9 is at a 1.7 to righties as well. Is he giving up a lot of hard contact? It's pretty much mixed between hard and medium. The ground ball rate is almost near 40% towards righties. So he's just getting lasered with singles and doubles. And he's only giving up 2 home runs so far in 17 innings. But it's just concerning how many hits he's giving up right now to opposing teams. All right. And when we're looking at the splits, the key factor here, We're looking at the splits for the Milwaukee Brewers. This is the number 2 team in the league against opposing right-handed pitching. So this is not a good matchup for Joe Musgrove. 300 average, 19 home runs. This team has 19 home runs. Did they lead the league against righties? Yes, they're the number 1 team. This is not good. Milwaukee, this is not good. So 19 home runs, well over 300 average here. They already taken 40 walks. They got almost 100 RBIs across the board. This is concerning for Joe Musgrove. Joe Ross, on the other hand, has been solid. If we're looking at some of the advanced numbers for Joe Ross, it's still pretty well. It's still pretty good. The average against righties and lefties in that 180 range, hasn't given up a home run. You get a solid K percentage to lefties and righties around that 21 to 24 range as well. So what we're going to be going with here, we're going with the home dogs here. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line at a plus 105. If you want to secure yourself some safety, you can take the run spread there at 1.5 as well, and give me the over 8.5. I think they're going to light up Joe Musgrove and the San Diego Padres here. There might be a few runs for the Padres on the other side, because Tatis has been very good against Joe Ross. But for the most part, this is a one-sided matchup here. All the percentage and money is on the Padres. Give me the underdogs in the Milwaukee Brewers. Last but not least, we have the Atlanta Braves, who are currently 9-5, going against the Houston Astros, struggling at the beginning of the season, 6-11. We have the Atlanta Braves as road favorites here, minus 120 on the money line, with the comeback of the Houston Astros at a plus 100. This run spread, obviously 1.5, and the total is set at 9.5. So this is one of the higher totals here. For the bets percentage, public bet percentage, 78% of the bets, 66% of the money towards the Braves. No data yet on that run spread. And for the total runs, 86% of the bets and 89% of the money towards the over 9.5. The meeting here of the pitchers, we have Darius Vines, who they just called up from AAA, against Spencer Arrighetti, who was a stud for Houston. He was recently called up, but he got lit up like a piñata. So we have 2 blank canvases here. At least we saw Spencer pitch, but he got lit up by the Kansas City Royals here. 3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, only 3 Ks. It was an embarrassing first start for him. Darius Vines for the Atlanta Braves. There's nothing intriguing me right here, okay? ERA 3.75. That's not good in AAA. We're looking at home run per 9, 1.5. That's not good. You have a walk per 9 over 2. That's not good. K per 9 isn't special. There's nothing over 10 there. So you're getting a lot of question marks here for Darius Vines coming into his first start, going up against a very formidable force here in the Houston Astros. And I think both sides here is just going to be a ton of runs. So I'm going to stay away from the money line. Maybe if you want to just look at how these two pitchers are in their Arrighetti in his second start and Darius Vines in his first one. But I'm going to be taking advantage of the total here at 9.5. Give me the over in the total. We're also looking at the poor bullpen of the Houston Astros. They're bottom 4 in the league. They've given up 39 earned runs so far this year, 10 home runs as well. So I think there's going to be a ton of scoring in this game environment. Over 9.5 for this spot here. And for the other games, all right, we have Cubs, D-backs, Cardinals, A's, Reds, Mariners, Nats, Dodgers, and there's no line yet for the Royals and White Sox. I'm going to be posting that in the comment section down below, who I'm going to choose for money line and for the total as well. That's going to be in that comment section down below. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to that channel. Remember, we're still mixing in a little bit of baseball, and also the focus is still NBA, because NBA is transitioning over to the playoffs. So don't forget, NBA videos are coming soon. We got the play-in, and then we got the first round, okay? So stick to the channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other leans, any other discrepancies that I went through in this slate for MLB. Do you have any other suggestions? Did you disagree or agree? Let me know in that comment section down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right. Peace out.